Governor Steve Bullock making a special stop here at MSU to tour the Romney building during a historic renovation.
It's an historic moment in Butte Superfund history as treated Berkeley pit water is now being discharged into Silverboat Creek.
Good morning to you. 6:30 here on your Wednesday. I'm Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman, and Matt Elwell has our forecast here in just a moment. We'll get to those stories here in just a second. Governor Steve Bullock, top story here, was in Bozeman last night, specifically on campus at Montana State University.
Yep, one of the most historic buildings on that campus was his focus in the middle of a massive restoration project.
MTN's Cody Boyer was there and got the chance to chat with the governor to see what comes next.
After years of trying, Romney Hall is getting the facelift that MSU leaders say it needed, something MSU President Wadad Cruzado knows well.
Romney Hall was in the governor's list in 2013, and in 2015, and again in 2017, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, again in 2019.
Governor Bullock got the grand tour, taking a look at what used to be space for about 140 students, at least back in 1922. After this $32 million expansion, that capacity will go up to over 1,000 students, something students like Taylor Blossom see benefiting the future.
I have a younger brother who's a freshman here now, and it's just so exciting to me to think that in 4 years, or however long, we'll get to see this building as what it will be for future generations.
Right now, Romney Hall only has about 875 square feet of space. After the renovation, we're looking at about 3,000. It's taken time, and when asked, Bullock says he's supported it even during the wait.
Well, Romney had my continued support for the last 6-7 years because both it really is sort of at the heart of this community and this college, and knowing that there's no way that you'd necessarily get private funders to take care of this.
And the nearly 20 new classrooms will garner towards math, writing, and TEAL classes, something MSU officials say is needed. And Bullock agrees with that.
A century-old building that really is in the heart of Montana State University, knowing the contribution that the university makes not only just to the individual students, but to our entire state, that we had to get this done.
Romney Hall is set to open in the fall of 2021. In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Fabulous.
That has been a work in progress for a long time.
Quite
It's nice
some
to see that, and I'm so happy that they're going to be able to see the building and turn it into
It's a
something
beautiful
completely
building.
useful.
It is a beautiful building.
And it's such, as they mentioned, just a hugely important historic part of the campus.
And it really is in the center.
That's it.
Smack dab.
Yep.
Yep, that's right. Matt joins us now, as Chet would say, burr, the scientific word.
He said it several times this morning, rubbing it in a little on us.
Once in the newsroom, but that's a different reason back there.
Temperatures this morning cool enough. You may have a little frost on your windshield to start the day, so leave a little extra time as you're heading out. Remember, bundle up. It is cold outside, mainly dealing with temperatures into the 20s and 30s early on. The skies should clear for the afternoon. Look outside this morning. Roadways are trying to dry out for the early part of the day, but we still have a little patchy fog to start the morning. We're going to break down your weekday forecast. Does include a little rain, maybe a little snow for some areas. That's all coming up in about 10 minutes.
Thank you for that, Matt. Now 6:33, and new for you today. First Lady Melania Trump will be in Yellowstone National Park on Friday.
White House says the First Lady will travel to Jackson, Wyoming on Thursday. She'll visit Grand Teton National Park Friday morning and then Yellowstone in the afternoon. The visit will focus on Melania Trump's Be Best campaign that she highlighted the reopening of the Washington Monument last week. At that event, she handed out free national park passes to school kids as she encouraged them to get outdoors and enjoy the country's national parks. She is expected to be joined by hundreds of school children during her visit to both Grand Teton and to Yellowstone National Parks.
She'll have a great time.
Absolutely.
Hopefully some good fall
Beautiful
weather.
time to see it, too.
That's right. And a Bozeman man accused of stealing several expensive bikes across the area was back in court yesterday.
Joseph Peary, charged with stealing bikes and fighting back against police early last month. Yesterday, those charges were brought before Gallatin County District Court.
Detectives say Peary could be connected to multiple similar thefts in the Bozeman and surrounding areas. In a court, Peary tried to plead guilty several times to the crimes, but eventually told Judge Holly Brown that he would plead not guilty. His next hearing is set for October 9th.
6:35 now. Water from Butte's Berkeley pit finally being removed and sent downstream.
MTN's John Amy tells us how Montana Resources began pumping water from the pit on Monday to be discharged into Silverbow Creek.
An historic milestone has been reached this week in Butte's continuing Superfund cleanup journey as treated water from the Berkeley pit is being discharged into Silverbow Creek.
We're very excited. I mean, this is just a monumental day for us and ARCO and the city of Butte.
This was part of a decree between the EPA, the Atlantic Richfield Company, and other agencies requiring the rising contaminated water in the pit to be treated and halted from rising. There was a deadline of 2023 to stop the water from rising as it's reaching the critical level where it could spill over into the city's groundwater.
Instead of the pit rising like it has for the past 36 years, it will actually stop rising for the first time.
The project was completed just over 3 years ahead of deadline.
Now it's our turn to show that we can control the pit.
And this is the spot where the Berkeley pit water, after going through all the processing and treatment back at Montana Resources, is discharged into Silverbow Creek. And officials say, as you can see, the water looks clean and pure enough to drink.
It's clean. It's drinking water quality. It's safe for aquatic life. It's clean water.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Now, also new for you this morning, athletes across Montana are tying up their cleats this fall and getting ready to take on Friday night on the field. In many cases, they're made of synthetic grass.
But MTN Investigates is taking a closer look at the concerns over safety of synthetic turf in our state after dozens of lawsuits are filed nationwide over a particular company who installs the turf.
Now, here's our chief investigative reporter, Andrea Lutz.
School districts across our state have invested in turf, and maybe the biggest player in the game is Field Turf USA. The Montana Grizzlies play on it, so do the Montana State Bobcats, as well as various high school teams around Montana. But I'm learning the company is facing big allegations from schools across the country who say field turf doesn't hold up and athletes have been injured. One of the most recent claims come from Rancho High School in Las Vegas, where there were reports of concussions and burns from football players. The school superintendent there has shut down the field, impacting their season. That field completed in 2007 by Field Turf with defective fiber known as Duraspine. So through my investigation, I learned 2 Montana schools also had the same kind of defective turf installed here. But it wasn't until MTN informed those schools that they knew anything about it. My investigation, Turf Trouble, dives into the legal history on field turf, and I asked the company why schools in Montana were never informed about the defective product. So join us tonight at 10.
6:38 now. Yeah, interesting story again. Tonight at 10 o'clock we will have that report. Meantime, in other news, the city of Butte is hosting Montana Special Olympics basketball tournament for the next 3 years.
And the announcement was made yesterday at the Comfort Inn. The first year of the tournament will begin in November. It is expected to bring more than 700 athletes and coaches to play at 12 different courts in Butte and Ramsey.
I'm so excited. I'm like so pumped. I'm always pumped. I get my team all pumped up, and we have handshakes. We kind of go Butte Rats and get all pumped up for the game.
She's also a great snowboarder too. Now, Butte will also host Special Olympics basketball tournaments in November of 2020 and 21.
And if you want to see some great basketball, head on out to those tournaments. It is so good.
No doubt
so
about
fun.
it. And great for Butte to have a
Absolutely.
3-year stint of that.
Congratulations. Great facilities to play in there.
Yep, 700 people.
Love
it's
it.
Amazing.
Love it.
It is time for a quick break. When we return,